No, I was saying, I think a lot of, I think the problem with people like Trump is that he just has such a huge ego that it's just gonna, I feel like whatever he does, it's like his ego is just way too big, and it's just gonna cause so many conflicts with like the people he works with. So
I mean, that's the hope, isn't it? That there'll be
that's
enough
the hope,
conflict
yeah.
that they effectively won't get anything done
Hmm.
because they keep arguing and stacking each other, and there's so much backstabbing going on that it makes Brutus as killing of Caesar look like an absolute
Hmm.
bloody picnic, but um
But like Eli says, it is a pretty dismal prospect to be the
mm,
person in the crosshair of potential action. Like even if nothing comes of any of the things Trump promises, to know that people in office are right now plotting how to do it and want to do it is a
yep,
scary thought. Which is why it's so crucial to be loud and uncivil. What's the word? Disobedience, civil and uncivil disobedience.
mm,
Like be in the system, making things take longer, be outside the system, making things any action that makes it harder to implement a right-wing policy is good, basically.
Yeah.
And like the Democrats should be doing like what the Republicans did for years, just wasting time, not turning up to meetings,
mm,
making life just a misery. Like and then saying afterwards, oh well, it's just part of the process. Um,
Yeah,
because
and that's what I often don't understand about the Democrats. It's just like, why are you always so by the book? Why can't you just do some civil disobedience every once in a while? Because
mm.
it
Because I
would
feel
really
like
be
Because
good.
that's disruptive, and we like things to be nice.
Well,
well,
it's this stupid Michelle Obama thing about, oh, when they go low, we must go high. Nah, stuff that. When they go low, kick him in the fork. You
Yeah,
know, Forget that.
we should, but I think the reason why we don't is because people they'll just accuse us of being radical, and we
Well,
Hmm.
they
won't.
do that anyway,
so
Eli.
what?
They do that
No,
anyway, Isaiah.
we
Yeah,
gotta remember. You gotta remember, people are more okay with radical right wingers than radical left wingers.
I mean,
So
for
Hmm.
goodness sake, they were calling
it's
Biden a communist. For God's sake.
Yeah, they'll,
Um,
they'll do that for anyone, but if you're to the left of them and you are a communist, even if
mm,
even if they are already, practically Nazis. Um, but it's Bordeaux's theory of cultural capital, isn't it? Because they have
Hmm.
control of what is
mm,
deemed culturally sensible and what's normal and stuff.
yeah.
For
Hmm.
you to call out someone being bad and horrible is worse than them being bad and horrible if it's not done correctly, i.e., said. Like it's
Hmm.
like it's ruder to shout at the table than to make a rude comment about someone else at the table, just spoken normally.
Mm,
Hence, the dozens of families across America who will reject someone for being LGBTQ, but not the scumbag bigot in the family who,
Hmm.
I don't know,
It is
brings up the trans issue every single time there's like a dinner or
yeah.
something.
it's ruder to complain about your uncle who disowned his uh trans child than it is to actually disown your trans child.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you can just you can just see the Danish reaction to the Greenlandic people talking about the atrocities that Denmark did to them. My mother, last time I spoke to her, she was so appalled that the Greenlandic people dared complain that they had been forcefully sterilized, and they dared to
Mm,
call it a genocide, which is like, and I tried to explain to her mom that is what it is when you forcefully sterilize people. That is part
yeah.
of a genocide, but it was just like she just wouldn't listen to it because she said, "Oh, but people get sterilized by their own accord all the time," and it's just
Hmm.
like, yeah, but it's not done against their will.
Nope.
It's the forced part that's the
Yeah,
problem.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the nationalism, the which I think every nation is ultimately, but to sort of be a little bit well, it's not even anarchism, it's just a truth, isn't it? Every nation is a product of warfare and atrocity and some injustice along the line. And when you point
Yeah.
that out to people, because of the way power works and how power manifests itself through media and education and such, there is some internal resistance. It's like when a lot of people in Britain, as I'm sure you'll testify to, Mithril, if you say about the British Empire, actually Britain is wealthy because of centuries of looting, purging,
Yeah.
basically making the world a worse place. Like
Yeah.
there's a big resistance to it. It's like, oh,
There's a real
how dare
pushback
you?
against it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you only have to look at even just even like just basic things.
Yeah.
Um, like
You want to know how Britain's so wealthy? Just go to the British Museum.
Yeah.
How many
granddad.
British artifacts are there compared to the
Oh.
rest of the world?
Well,
remember-
when you make the rest of the world Britain as the Empire did.
Yeah. I remember in the mid-80s with sat with my granddad watching there were riots in Soweto, I think it was. And he was a lifelong lefty, strong union man, all the rest of it. I don't see what they're protesting about. Us whites did them all right. Look at all the good things we brought to them.
And that's what the importance
yeah.
of intersectionality there. Yeah?
They have a
Yep,
really
once-
great
yep.
Independence Day because of us.
Yeah. You know, it was.
The guy was